Guys, I have come across one of the most insane articles I have ever read about Dragon Age of Veilguard. I have my full thoughts coming out on a video tomorrow, but I had to give you a sneak preview today. I had to. There was no way I wasn't going to be able to do it. So we have an article here from Phantom Pulse. And the headline reads, Dragon Age the Veilguard game director evades the question about sales and says that getting the game made was a quote-unquote miracle. Pretty aggressive headline, right? So when I read this, I thought, okay, maybe it was just going to be a little bit of coping and seething about the game, whatever the case would be. But the stuff that got admitted in this article blew my mind. So I want you guys to remember something. Eurogamer is the one that did this interview with Corin Bush. Who is Corin Bush? Let me show you. So just so you guys are aware. Let me see. Corin Bush right here. All right. So Corin Bush is the director for Dragon Age. Okay. The director for Dragon Age. And Corin Bush is also the one who worked on The Sims 4. And ironically, The Sims 4 also has trans scars. It was one of the first ever video games to introduce trans scars. And then ironically, we end up getting trans scars in Veilguard. So take that for what it's worth. But that's neither here nor there. This dude is using a Snapchat filter so damn hard. You just know this is a motherfucking filter. This is a filter to the extreme. But anyway, that's besides the point. So now that you know who Corin Bush is, let's hear the absolute fucking cope. So Eurogamer did the interview. And the reason why I want you to remember Eurogamer is because Eurogamer, to my knowledge, and I'll look it up really quick, Eurogamer Dragon Age Veilguard review, I believe they gave it a 10 out of 10. I believe. I got to scroll down their long ass fucking. Yeah. Okay. So they gave this game, Eurogamer gave this game a 10 out of 10. They said that this is the best BioWare game ever. The best BioWare game ever. And then they very clearly were ideologically driven by this review. Because if you look at it, Dragon Age the Veilguard review, the best BioWare game they've ever played. Howl about that. They're basically telling you to complain about that. So they already knew. Eurogamer already knew what the deal was. They sold their soul to this game. We already knew that. They sold their soul ages ago. So anyway, this is proof of access media if you ever needed it. Because, of course, Corin Bush is going to do an interview with Eurogamer, who gave their game a fucking 10 out of 10. Of course, right? So anyway, in an interview with Eurogamer, Bush was asked, how was the commercial response to the game been? Or how has the commercial response been? I've seen stories about sales, and they seem mixed, inconclusive. The game seems to be doing okay, but struggling to keep pace with Inquisition before it. Has it been a success from your point of view? How do you measure that? Okay. Well, I'm telling you right now that any answer other than the game made money is a lie, right? You could talk about your feelings all you want. You could talk about how good it made you feel to release the game, but anything you say is going to be bullshit. But let's see what they say. Let's see how they measure. How does Corin Bush measure success? Let's see. So it says, Bush replied, there's 3 axes we can measure this by. What the team was able to do and put together, the pride that they felt that they could take in that. Every game that is made, especially in the AAA space, where you're talking hundreds of developers, timelines is a miracle that they executed at quality. Internally, we consider that to be a success. All right. So success metric number 1 for Corin Bush is that as long as the developers feel happy and it's kumbaya in the studio, then they view the game as a success. The fact that they just released the game, that's all it takes for them to view it as a success. It's literally participation trophies. Literally. But that's what they view it as. So that's cope, right? That's obviously cope. It's a fucking joke, but that's cope. And then here we go. He continued. This is the best part, boys. Oh my God, when I read this, I didn't even know what to even think. I think I flipped out in the video. I'm pretty sure. I think I had a little melty melt. I'm pretty sure. He continued, we're very happy with the critical reception to the game. It's not common to have these challenging development cycles and have a team turn around and receive the critical reception that it did. In fact, in a lot of ways, that is the harder path to take. So yeah, we're quite proud of the critical reception. Okay. All they care about is whether or not the journalists love the game. That's literally it. I mean, this is embarrassing. This is massive levels of cope that I haven't seen before. Think about this for a second. They're talking about them being happy and the journalists being happy. What about the gamers? What about the people who bought the game and refunded it? What about the people who loved Dragon Age as a franchise before and then were mad at the shit that they got when you released Veilguard? What about them? Are you never going to mention the gamers at all? Of course not. This right here is proof that toxic positivity is a big, big problem. A big problem in the industry. We talk about it all the time. We talk about it to nausea sometimes. But it is a big problem. Toxic positivity is a huge issue because it creates the mindset that as long as the journalists say we did good, then we did good. You know what I mean? As long as, critically speaking, everybody's saying we're doing good, then that means we're doing good. Bro, what? And then you wonder why, right? You wonder why you have access media as a thing. You wonder why websites like Eurogamer, Kotaku, IGN, The Gamer, you wonder why all of these journalists do what they do. Because it's one massive circle jerk. It's one massive echo chamber. So that even if they failed, even if their game failed in every actual tangible way, as long as they emotionally feel good, then that's all that matters. And that's insane. That's really insane to me. So, with that being said, is she going to talk about sales? Is he going to talk about sales? Is he going to talk about sales, boys? Of course not. Finally, Corin Bush stated, unfortunately, on the sales side, that's not something we can really discuss. So you could talk about your fifis. You could talk about how the journalists love you and they shill for you. But the moment it came to you talking about sales, now all of a sudden, you can't talk about it. And then he says, but of course, as we know with Inquisition, that was a long burn to get to those total sales numbers. My guy, you are never going to get to Inquisition numbers, ever. Ever. Literally ever. Is it possible? Is it possible? Even if you, okay, I want you guys to understand something. Even if you take away all the wokeness, even if this was a banger of a game, the chances of you getting to 12 million sales, whatever it is fucking impossible almost because of the world that we live in. We live in a world of subscription services. We live in a world where EA Play Pro is a thing. So all the people who play on EA Play Pro Those are lost sales that you're not going to get. And when you add all that up, you realize that there's no way in hell you're going to get to 12 million sales when a bunch of people are choosing to play on EA Play Pro. It's just never going to happen, even if the game was good. Now, change up the formula, make the game shit, and you're definitely not hitting 12 million sales. You're not even hitting fucking 5 million sales at this point. And the truth of the matter is that word of mouth about this game is just way too bad. It's way too bad. There's nothing you could do to change it. It's all your fault. It's nobody else's fault other than your own. You are the ones that made word of mouth bad, not us.